Hey guys, Brad from Roto Heat back at it with another 2020 player breakdown. This time we're talking Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. And as always, if you've been enjoying all this amazing content from the RotoHeat.com team here on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe, don't forget that notification icon so you can stay up to date for any one of our amazing nightly live streams, any of our 2020 player outlooks, any of our whatever. Everything we post, anything we post, it's here on YouTube.
Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire.
As rough as 2019 was for the Philadelphia Eagles offense as a whole, Carson Wentz was healthy. Played in all 16 games. Went 9-7 with a 63.9% completion percentage, 4,000 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Wasn't really as bad as people made it out to be. From a fantasy perspective, not amazing as, when you see the likes of Lamar and Pat Mahomes and players like that last year. But Wentz was quietly still very solid as a quarterback in fantasy. The unfortunate thing, he's been up and down. Now, obviously, up and down has had injuries involved in that situation. Injuries not only to him, but to Jeffery and just DeSean. And you saw the Eagles address that this year. They went hot and heavy at the wide receiver position. Jalen Reagor, John Hightower. They've added players to really help bolster that and got rid of guys that weren't helping. Nelson Algholor and his inconsistencies gone. Obviously Ertz and Goedert were big time for him last year, and they will most likely still continue to be because they're reliable pass catchers. They move the chains, and they're very in tune and in lockstep with Carson Wentz and in that playbook. The interesting thing for him is we have to look and see what he's capable of. Originally coming into the league, people thought maybe overrated because he went so high, but he fit perfectly into what the Eagles are doing as a team, and he continues to do so. He's a dependable starter when healthy. In 2020, obviously, Doug Peterson wants Carson to take more downfield shots. We've seen that in some of the conversations that you've been seeing. He's an accurate passer. He's completing over 60% of his passes on a regular basis, and downfield we should still see a very similar rate. And with a guy like Jalen Reagor in the fold, you're going to see more of that because Reagor can do that. Reagor can be big in this offense. A healthy Jackson and Jeffrey and some of these other guys could help as well. We also don't forget about JJAW Whiteside. We talked about last year, if you were with us at Roto Heat, and if you were following us on RotoHeat.com and any of the other platforms we're on, we talked up Arcega Whiteside, but also said, hey, it's going to take him a few years to develop. He's a raw prospect. The 27-year-old Carson Wentz is only going to continue to stay in the quarterback one conversation. He's very good as a QB1. I would expect more than 4,000 yards and probably more like 4,500 yards if I were to guess this year what we should expect to see from Wentz. That being said, I still expect him to kind of be in the QB 4 to 7 range because there are just some really dynamic quarterbacks in fantasy right now. Staying healthy will continue to be the big issue, but as long as we see Wentz in 16 games, we feel comfortable that he's going to be one of those high-end QB1s. Some of the guys in the team, as we were talking through Carson Wentz, kind of see him around 4,200 yards and somewhere in the 25 to 30 touchdown range is kind of the sweet spot. Now, obviously, value-wise in any of your leagues depends on the type of league. In a one QB format, obviously Wentz is going to fall down the draft boards considerably. Probably in redraft specifically, he's not going to be taken until later rounds. I've seen him go in the 6 to 8 range in a one QB. Superflex obviously blows all that out of the water. He's going to go considerably higher in a Superflex draft. He's first round quarterback. I know I did a couple of startups this offseason in our downtime, and I took him at the turn. He was a 112 kind of 2-1 guy for me, and that was kind of where I targeted him at because he's young enough to be a QB1 for another 5 to 10 years, depending on how that health goes. If you're trading for him in any format, you're still going to pay a fairly sizable price for him. Superflex, it's 1-1 plus easily. I've seen in a few Superflex leagues when I try to talk to the Carson Wentz owners about trades, just shut me down completely. Not interested. So if you're going to go trade for him, you're going to have to bring it. You're going to have to send a big offer, probably a young player with a pick or two. And if you haven't already gotten him, it's probably at this point, you need to wait for something to cause his value to drop, which hopefully isn't a bad thing. If you're in a one QB format, trading for him is much easier to do. But it's also one of those things you might as well look at maybe trying to get one of the younger quarterbacks and using a draft pick, using a second round pick on a quarterback, something like that. So one QB is considerably different. But you know what? If you're working on a Wentz deal and you're trying to figure out what to do, hit us up. We got a Facebook community. It's growing. Thousands of folks talking with us over on the Facebooks. We got a Discord server. We talk everything. We're on Twitter. You can hit me up at RotoHeat Brad. The main group is at RotoHeat Fantasy. You can find us here on YouTube. This video, there's comments below. Hit us up. Let's talk about it. Tell me if you think Wentz is going to be a QB1 for the long term. Tell me you think I'm crazy. Tell me you think anything. Just tell me something in the comments below.
Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.